Welcome back to another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show. I am the J-Man, and sitting next to me on the screen is the T-Dog, Tanner Lee. How you doing tonight, T-Dog?
Doing good, Jay man. Spring is definitely upon us, even though it's a little
A
little cold and windy today, but
little windy, yeah.
definitely getting that spring feeling out there. March Madness last week when we were doing this, we started with 68 teams. We're down to 16 now. Comes at you fast.
It does. It does. The Monday after the first two rounds of the tourney is one of my least favorite days of the year because there's just nothing now. There's no anticipation for the tourney to start. I know that it's fun to watch Sweet 16 and all that, especially if you're in it. But that anticipation, even like I'll even like watch the entire like 16 seeds playing the play-in game because I'm so pumped for it. But yeah, it happens quick, and that is the thing with college basketball. The end feels so abrupt because you just never know. You never know when it could happen, and it just when it happens, it hits you hard.
Yeah, it sure does. And now with the new world of college athletics, I mean, today on March 24th, the
Yeah,
transfer portal's open. And you
yeah,
still have teams playing. You
yeah.
have players, or I think a player, Pippen for Michigan. And I understand he's hurt, not traveling with the team, yada yada. But he puts his name in the portal today. That just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, he could have waited because they're gonna get waxed by Auburn, in my opinion. But he could have waited, 4 or 5 days before he puts his name in because you get 30 days to do it, and yeah, it causes distraction. It's almost like he did it on purpose, just to maybe create a distraction because he's not happy there. I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, I think I saw a tweet where 500 players have already
Yep.
entered the portal, which would be about 1.5 players on each team on average to hit the portal. So
Ridiculous.
um, each and every year it gets a little more crazy, and until they rein it in, it's just going to get crazier and crazier and crazier.
And this might not be the right time or to ask this, but what's the solution, J man? Like in your mind, what's the solution?
Um, that's above my pay grade.
It's above both of ours.
um, if I had a solution, I'd give it to you, but I don't. And I know Illinois' athletic director Josh Whitman has really gone in front of Congress trying to, hammer out the best possible solution for mainly the student athletes, because I don't think the portal helps the student athletes at all either, because you have people entering the portal that will never play a minute of college sports ever again, thinking it's the right thing to do. So there's a lot of things that need to be done. Of course, we've talked about it. The NCAA had so many opportunities to kind of put
Mhm.
any sort of regulations on it. Now it's just a free for all, free agency. Contact my agent, and it's wild. And I'm sure the coaches absolutely despise it. And I know they hate the timing of it too. But there's no more player development in college basketball. I mean, there's some programs that still. I mean, Purdue's honestly one of them. One
Mhm.
of the few that still build through, their
Marquette.
freshman class, and Marquette as well. Yeah, I know Shaka hates. I don't think he has a single transfer on his roster, does he?
Mm-mm.
So I don't think Purdue does either. Last year they had Lance Jones, but
Right.
this year, yeah, they don't.
I
So
think they'll add 1 or 2,
mhm,
this
yeah,
next year to fill some holes. I think
hmm
that's what Matt wants to do, fill some holes with it, but not overturn your roster
right.
unless you have to.
Which is what Illinois had to do, and
Sure.
a lot of that had to do with he had 4 guys graduate, and those were 4 starters essentially. And so yeah, it'll be interesting. And one thing that I learned anyway is teams that are old usually go the furthest.
Yep.
You look at Kentucky, even they didn't return a single minute from last year's team, but they still had the second most Division One basketball experience.
Right.
Um,
New coach down there too. I had
New
a
coach, yeah. So
lot of roster overturn, yeah.
right, you get the benefit of the doubt there, and I think that's one thing that Brad wants to do for next year is he has to keep some of the roster intact.
Yeah.
You can't continue to replace 13 scholarship players every single year.
Takes too long to gel,
Um,
in my opinion.
it does, and so that is an issue with a lot of teams. Is guys go into the portal and then you're having to replace, 5, 6 key players every single season. And it's just something where something's got to happen. Like something's got to happen, but I just don't know
I
what.
I I would like to see it, and I understand there's people out there. Well, the coaches can leave for different jobs whenever they want, so why shouldn't the athletes? I get that. My proposition, I guess, would be eliminate the can't jump from high school rule.
Mhm.
Put that back into play. If you go to college, you have to stay a minimum of 2 years before you go to the NBA. You can still transfer whenever you want, but at one time.
Yeah.
One time.
Mhm.
With some exceptions. Uh, coach leaves or coach
Right.
gets fired,
It's fired. Yeah.
then you can again. I think that would settle things down a little
Mhm.
bit. Maybe the revenue sharing that goes in effect come July, maybe that'll slow things down. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't
Hopefully.
know, but right now it's the wild, wild west, and it gets wilder every single year.
Yeah, and the timing of it is horrendous.
Yes.
Last year, I think it was like right when the tourney was starting, and they pushed it back a week. They shortened it from 45 to 30 days. But the Monday after the first two rounds is absolutely
Yep.
ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, you have guys, you don't know who's going to leave from your current roster on Sweet 16 teams. So it's really hard to reach out to, potential transfers within that first couple weeks if you're still in the tourney. And it's a nightmare for coaches. It's a nightmare for us to follow it too.
Yeah.
I dread it every single year because you don't know who's even going to be on the roster next season. Where it used to be, okay, you get 9 starters back, should be pretty dang good. Just have no clue. Have no clue.
Yeah, it's not near as bad as football, of course, with the roster numbers. And football, I hate that it's right during bowl season and the playoffs.
Mm,
But with the academic structure of semester starting, I
right.
understand why they have to do that. It still
Hmm.
stinks, but I understand it. In this case, no, the academics aren't even
Yeah.
considered.
There's no reason why they couldn't start it, April 10th or whatever. Maybe the following Monday or even, the day after the Final Four ends, after the national championship. Open it then. I
Yeah,
mean, what's the big
yeah,
deal? It's not
yeah,
going to be any different. I
yeah,
know some may say, well, they only have till, May 31st to take their name out of the NBA draft. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't understand that one at all.
no,
So yeah, I don't know what they do. And each year we talk for the past like 3 years, we've said the same things over
yeah.
and over and over again.
They don't
And
listen to
then
us, Shay, man. Unfortunately, so
yeah,
I mean,
luckily, we don't have to think about it during the season.
true.
But the moment that thing opens, it is hot and heavy, and I'm already sick of some of the rumors flying around on the message boards.
Well, it's got to be a headache for coaches that are the 16 coaches that are still in the tournament as
Mhm.
well, because they got to think about the roster next year. They got to be wondering, are people tampering with my guys right now? Are they
Right?
not, all in and focus on the upcoming matchup Thursday or Friday
Yeah,
this week? So,
yeah. They Coach Calipari had a reaction when they told him the portal opened Monday. He didn't even realize, and it immediately made him angry that
I
it
can see
opened.
that. I can see that.
Um, which yeah, because he's probably going to live through the portal once again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not overly shocking that the NCAA continues to make the wrong decisions on a lot of things.
Thad Mooney on Facebook. National title game hit zero point 0 on the clock. Portal is now open. Amen.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I
I
would
agree.
agree with that. Yep.
That would
Yep.
be something in the post game, press conference of either the winning or losing team. Hey, I'm leaving. See ya. Thanks for the memories.
Instead of the old "I'm going to Disney World," I'm
Yeah,
going to the portal.
I'm hitting the portal. See you, fellas.
Yeah, yeah. But brought some birdie or bogey with
Alrighty.
me this evening, and you can take a commanding lead if you get a birdie here.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. It's birdie or bogey. It's a one single answer. Amongst the active NCAA Division One head coaches, who has the most NCAA tournament wins?
Oh man. All right. Thanks for the question. I have no idea.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. You have no idea, and you're gonna get a birdie, so
yeah, well, um, no. I mean, the fact that we're a combined 10 under par and it's March, whatever it is,
over, 10
24th.
over.
10
If
over.
it
That's
under,
right.
we'd be
Yeah,
on
we're the
fire.
greatest greatest duo in the history of sports.
Yeah.
But Birdie or Bogey is brought to you by Arlington Public House for great food and cocktails with a casual atmosphere located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. Check out Arlington Public House.
Yes, and over the weekend was their last night for their winter menu. So expect their spring menu to be coming out. But over the weekend, they had a special appetizer shrimp cocktail, fresh chilled shrimp served with their signature zesty cocktail sauce. And they had Dijon salmon, chicken Florentine, and a fried egg smash burger were some of
Mm.
their features on the winter menu on Saturday night. So yeah, follow them on Facebook, and I'm sure they'll be releasing their spring menu um, sometime soon.
Have you ever had an egg on top of a burger?
I'm not sure.
I don't think I have. I think I'm too scared to.
I like eggs and I like burgers, and I
Yeah.
like dippy eggs. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know. I would
No, I
say
like it.
I'd say I probably haven't, because I feel like I'd remember if I did,
Right.
but it doesn't sound bad to me.
No, I don't know. I'm usually just a scrambled egg guy. Um I I, I just don't know of having like over easy or over medium
Yeah,
or whatever eggs. I've had a fried egg.
yeah,
So I don't know. I might have to take the plunge sometime. I might be
yeah.
too scared to though.
Would you be more willing to do that than, or maybe you've done this, than peanut butter on your burger?
I would be more willing to do the egg
Okay.
than peanut butter because that just I
That's the love it or hate it thing, I think. I've never done
yeah,
it, but
I like peanut butter and I can kind of understand, you have your savory, salty burger and your sweet, you know, peanut butter, although it's salty as well.
yeah. Especially if it's
Um,
crunchy.
yeah, I would try it. But again, I'm a burger purist,
Yeah,
so
you're a big burger guy. Big burger guy.
I am. I would be willing to try it. I would say, but it wouldn't. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm just a scared.
Well, you like what you like when it comes
Right.
to burgers. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it.
I don't deviate too often from any sort of burger creation. I like a good. I like bacon. I like myself a tomato. Um, some sort of aioli as well, like a garlic aioli, a chipotle aioli. And I could swap that out for ketchup, mayonnaise, all that stuff. Maybe a bed of lettuce. Lettuce is kind of pointless. It gives a little bit of a crunch, but kind of pointless.
Man, that's one food I don't like.
Um,
I'm trying to get myself to like it. I really am, because as
yeah,
everybody knows by watching the show or listening to the show, I don't eat green vegetables. I'm trying to at least incorporate some lettuce into my life. It's been a struggle, and my wife laughs at me. She's like, "How?" I'm like, "Well, when you're not used to eating something for
yeah.
33 years, it's hard to incorporate it into your life. It just
I've
is."
I've seen you try to eat a salad before, and
Doesn't go
you
well.
you you had a hard time knowing how to hold the fork, which
Yeah,
was
it's pretty
pretty.
embarrassing. Yeah, so step by
Yeah.
step, maybe we'll get there, but so far it's not going too well.
You're gonna be like Kevin Malone on The Office when he eats the butt of the broccoli, and
I hate it. I
I
hate
I
it.
hate it. Can I get some cheese whiz or hollandaise?
Oh, Kevin Malone. What an underrated character
Yeah,
on The Office. I will quit. I swear to God, I will quit when they have to walk.
yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. Uh, well, you want to get educated real quick as we start diving into
All right,
things here?
let's do it.
Learn about some on this day, some sporting events that have happened on March 24th. Oh boy. Ooh. Hmm. On this day, 1956, who won the 18th NCAA men's basketball championship?
56. San Francisco.
You got it. I figured you were going to go that direction. They beat Iowa, 83-71.
Interesting. Couldn't have
Back
told you Iowa played in the title game.
for back-to-back titles. On this day, 1962, who won the 24th NCAA men's basketball championship?
62 would have been.
This team also went back-to-back. Just to give you.
I say like that, like I know it. Kentucky.
Good guess. Cincinnati beat Ohio State,
Ah.
71-59.
That Oscar Robertson?
I believe it was. Back-to-back titles. On this day, 1973, San Francisco 49er President Lou Spadilla proposed the NFL expand to 30 teams. Now they got 32. On this day, 1974, who won the 36th NCAA men's basketball championship?
74. Oops, sorry. Blew into the mic a little too hard. 74. That wasn't Indiana, was it?
It was not.
Notre Dame weren't they good, or UCLA, or UCLA?
It was not UCLA. I mean, they're always good. I don't know if Notre Dame's ever won a basketball.
Now that I think about that, I don't think they have either. I have no idea.
NC State beat Marquette, 76-64. On this day in 1979, Michigan State's Irvin Magic Johnson registered a triple-double with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists as the Spartans cruised to a 101-67 victory over Penn State.
Played Penn State in the tourney. I
Must have.
guess Penn State was the Big Ten at that point.
No, they weren't. On this day, 1980, who won the 42nd NCAA men's basketball championship?
1980. I'm terrible at these.
That's tough. It's tough. Like anything past 90s, I struggle.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Same state. Louisville beat UCLA 59-54.
Wasn't Murray State, huh?
Wasn't Murray State. Wasn't Western Kentucky. Wasn't Northern Kentucky. They probably weren't even a
I don't think they were D1 at that point.
On this day, 1988, San Diego Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts announced his retirement after 15 years.
He's a pretty solid little gunslinger.
Yes, he was. On this day in 2019, two-time AL MVP Mike Trout signed the biggest contract in North American sports history at the time, a $426.5 million 12-year extension with the Los Angeles Angels.
That's just the going rate these days for a good player.
Yeah. Also on this day in 2019, New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski announced his retirement as a three-time Super Bowl winner. And he had a postseason record, most receptions, 81, receiving yards, 1,163, and receiving touchdowns, 12. He would later unretire, come back with the Buccaneers, and win another Super Bowl.
Yeah. There was a rumor going around that he wants to come out again, but I don't think that was accurate.
He squashed it, and what's annoying to me is the guy who started it is a guy who covers the Broncos, and he's usually pretty reliable. So I thought it was legit, and maybe there was some, and then it just got squashed real quick. Maybe it was never. I don't know.
You know what I always say? You can't trust anyone that is associated with the Denver Broncos.
It's true.
That's all I say.
It's very true.
Including their...
Going back to the 1974 championship, Thad Mooney on Facebook said 74 stopped the UCLA 8-peat. They had won 7 straight. That's ridiculous.
Must be nice. I wonder if UCLA fans are like, this is kind of getting boring. I kind of want to sometime. Probably not, but I would say probably once you hit about 5 in a row, I'm sure they're sitting there like, all right, cool, we did it again. It wasn't like a special thing where I'd be, running around with my shirt off if Illinois ever won one outside.
I was ready to do it last year. Didn't happen. I had visions. I had plans.
I'd honestly like to find out what a 7-peat feels like, so that'd be great.
I'm going to go on a limb and say we'll never see a 7-peat in any sport ever again.
Yeah.
Will we see a 3-peat ever again in any sport, collegiately or professionally?
Man.
Almost saw with the Chiefs this year.
There was a time during that there's a time during that UConn Florida game yesterday. I was thinking, man, UConn's going to win it again. But they lost.
Referee's fault.
I think we'll see a 3-peat
Danny Hurley.
Yeah, according to old Dan. I think we'll see a repeat again in
Okay.
something.
Okay. Yeah. It
Probably college football. Well, college football is a little more difficult now than it was to do
yeah,
it, I guess.
sure is. Yeah.
But I would say, I would say probably college football is still of the sports the easiest to do it, in my opinion.
I think I think if we're talking all sports, the NBA is the most likely. I don't know who,
Yeah,
but some.
I don't even. I'll be honest with you. I don't even think about the NBA anymore to even put that in the convo.
I mean, neither till Sonics come back.
Yeah. Did Golden State win 3 in a row? I don't think they did.
There,
Couldn't
I
tell you.
get those
I don't even
years
know why I
mixed up
asked.
with Golden
Yeah.
State and Cleveland in the mix and all those years and
Yeah.
that Mooney on Facebook. Dan and his mouth post game really shows the class of UConn.
Yeah, he's turned into, I would say, the most insufferable coach in college athletics at this point.
Yep.
I can't think of anyone I dislike more in college basketball anyway. Um, yeah, he's obnoxious and he throws a fit if things don't go his way. I mean, he threw a fit after the game, walking back to the locker room, and supposedly the reporter that took the video that he was threatened by a Yukon something, a
The
Yukon
director of communications.
threatened. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, so
Classy
they
program.
clearly don't want it out and covering up for him, but his behavior in the Maui was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Falling to the floor like a little baby, crying and just throwing a fit. I cannot stand the guy.
Nope. He's very unlikable. Very unlikable.
Yeah, I like Tom Izzo so much more than I like Dan Hurley,
Mm-hmm.
and that hurts. That hurts me to say.
Yes. Yes. Well, somebody we like on this podcast, and he's been commenting all night long, which we appreciate, is Thad Mooney of Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is a veteran owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of Texas with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand cut custom designs to fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed projects by visiting them at Mooney Woodcrafts on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you let them know the Tan and J Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your first sign order. Mother's Day's right around the corner. Be a perfect gift for mom. Get her some sort of wooden sign. She'll love it. So get a hold of
Yes,
Thad.
sir.
Let him know we sent you 15% off. The NCAA tournament, it's been really interesting as far as no Cinderellas. Very little upset.
I was gonna say, yeah,
What's the reason? Is it
pretty
just
chalky. I mean,
outlier year, or is this a sign of things to come?
I think it's more of an outlier year. It was pretty top heavy this year, honestly. I mean, the 1 seeds are great. 2 seeds for the most part are really good. St. John's obviously was knocked off. And then you have, I mean, the 4 and 5 seeds are good too. So I just think it's more people wanted to pick the upsets. I know a lot of people were picking, McNeese over Clemson, which happened, and then I saw some people picking McNeese over Purdue, and it did not
Oh, I
happen.
saw
I'll
tons
be
picking
picking High Point.
High
Yeah.
Point and McNeese over Purdue.
So I don't think the 12 seeds were as strong as usual, and that's usually the popular upset, the 12-5. I mean, we've had some 14 seeds go, but I don't think the 14 seeds were as good. Maybe that has to do with the portal and the NIL because all these programs are losing their studs to bigger programs. I mean, like Oakland. Oakland's best player last year, Trey Townsend. He's at Arizona now, and they were a 14 seed that knocked off of Kentucky. So we'll see that more and more. I think it was more just kind of an outlier. I guess we'll have to see a bigger sample here in the next, let's say, 4 more tournaments, which would mean 5 tournaments to see where we're at. But I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes more of a norm. And honestly, I know people complain about it. I like it. I like the high majors in there. The best teams need to be in those kind of games. It is fun to see upsets, and I'll always root for upsets in the first round for sure. But once you get like a St. Peter's in the Elite Eight or, a Loyola, even, I would throw them in there, even though they were 11 in the Final Four. No, thank you.
I'd definitely throw them in there. Yeah, there's 11 making the Final Four, sure.
Yeah.
And from that small conference and everything, and defeating the teams they did on their way there, sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Been a lot of bracket checking in my house because my wife got 15 of the 16, Sweet
That's
16
impressive.
right. So she's winning both bracket
Yeah.
competitions she's in. I'm afraid Purdue will be her downfall. Purdue has helped her so far. She has Purdue in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Um, but her other three have a good chance to probably make it. So yeah, we'll see. Another team, she has Ole Miss going to Elite Eight. That's been big. She had
That was
BYU
good.
going to Sweet
Good poll.
16.
Yeah.
So she had some in there for
Oh,
sure.
nice.
I think she's only
Yeah.
missed 5 overall games.
I had Ole Miss getting knocked off by Carolina. Doing a lot better than me. I don't even check mine anymore. I just do it for the show. I don't enter any sort of bracket thing because I just
donation of money.
Yeah. Yep.
I do have one Elite Eight team out. I had Marquette going to Elite Eight, and they got bounced first round.
I think I had them in the Elite Eight as well. Now that I think about it, maybe I had Iowa State, which they're out anyway. So.
Marquette and BYU were my two kind of risks. I had both making Elite Eight, and BYU still could.
Yeah.
So, but overall, the Big Ten has been pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
They got Michigan is in the Sweet 16, Purdue's in the Sweet 16, Maryland's in the Sweet 16, Michigan State's in the Sweet 16.
Got my book it right.
I was gonna say you got one of your bold predictions.
Yeah.
For 2025, you said of the total teams that got in from the Big Ten, half would make the Sweet 16. So
smart man.
You were on it. You were on it. And some others were close. I mean, every team from the Big Ten made it out of the first round. Yeah. While on paper they should have, but still, it's the tournament.
You never know. Yeah.
Now Maryland's the most fortunate to still be playing, I would say.
Yes.
The Sweet 16. Heck of a shot by Patrick Queen, which poor Ethan Morton is going to be on that highlight for forever.
Derek Queen, you mean?
Derek. I always call him Patrick. That's a linebacker, you idiot.
Linebacker for, he was for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes,
so, Derek Queen's from Baltimore.
You know what's sad, J-Man, when we do these podcasts too, I don't even realize it, or I'm so confident in my head that's right. I just roll with it without any hesitation until you catch it.
Well, usually I just let it slide, but that one was funny to me.
Nope. You need to call me out for it because I need to be called out for it. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Do you think Derek Queen traveled?
I do, but
yeah. Gene Steratore,
heck of a shot. He still made a heck of a shot.
Gene Steratore said he did not travel. Like he was adamant he didn't travel because he got one step together and then he took two steps. I thought it was a travel once I saw the replay. I didn't watch any of it. But still, heck of a shot. Became a Maryland legend. And I was rooting hard against him because I do not like Maryland. Illinois can't beat him, so I root against him.
I don't like him either.
But 4 Big Ten teams in the Sweet 16. We could have an All Big Ten Elite Eight in is that the East region with Michigan and Michigan State?
That would be so intense.
It would be intense. I would hate every single second of that one.
Yeah, because one of them was going to Final Four.
Exactly. And I was hoping New Mexico would get Michigan State last night, but Michigan State's good.
I had a 3-leg parlay last night, $5. All New Mexico had to do was win because I had, sorry, J-Man, I had Kentucky money line. I had Ole Miss money line, and I had New Mexico money line. $5 bet to win 110.
Yeah.
Fell apart at the end.
They got up. I think they got up 8 or 10 early.
They were up 10 early, and then even second half was kind of back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
But in the end, New Mexico couldn't hit the shots. Michigan State kept getting and ones. So
yeah.
Carr took over. Carr's a freak.
He is the best athlete I've ever seen play Big Ten basketball, but now he's starting to score all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know.
7 points
hitting his free throws.
I saw him hit a 3 the other day.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
But this Michigan State team's good. I've been dogging them for about 5 months now. And,
we were wrong.
We were wrong. I admit it.
Yeah.
So that's stunk.
Yeah. But Michigan's finding ways to get close games done. I mean, they did it again against San Diego. Pretty close game against A&M. We'll see if they can keep it going against Auburn.
A&M was up 11 a majority of that second half, and then they just stopped scoring.
Yep.
And Michigan just got hot, and it was not my favorite watch. I didn't really watch much of the Michigan San Diego, but I know San Diego had the lead with about 3 minutes left. And
They were up too late. Donaldson hit a 3, and San Diego
he's been clutch.
still had a shot, I believe, to tie at the buzzer and didn't make it.
So yeah, Michigan, luckiest team in the tourney. I mean, they had so many wins by 4 points or less, and continues essentially. I mean, I know they beat A&M by I think 8 or 9, well, maybe less than that. But, still, it was a close game throughout.
I mean, I don't know if this is the surprise team of the tournament because of who they are, but seed-wise, 10th seeded Arkansas being in the Sweet 16, taking down 2 seed St. John's, which I believe we were in agreement last Monday. We said, watch out for St. John's to flame out early.
Yeah, I had them losing to Kansas though in the I think I had Kansas in the Elite Eight, so there's one that was real bad. But yeah, and I'm sure it was awfully satisfying for Cal to beat Patino, who Cal has now won 9 of his last 11 against old Rick. So I mean, Arkansas has a ton of talent, and they'd been injured, and they were able to get in, and they're starting to play some good basketball. And who do they play?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, that's right.
Who I know nothing about. I have not watched them.
I watched a handful of minutes of their game against Drake, but other than that, I don't think I've watched a single minute of them all season. And wouldn't surprise me if it would be pretty hilarious if Cal leads Arkansas to an Elite Eight in his first year after Kentucky ran him off, and then Kentucky beats Tennessee, which I think they will. I don't know. I think that's coin flip.
They beat them both times during the season, but it's hard to do it 3 times.
Yeah, tough to do it 3 times. So we could see a Calipari versus Kentucky. It'd have to be a national championship game.
Yeah, that would make me throw up. But
very unlikely, but could happen.
It could happen. It could happen. Purdue got it done against High Point, and McNeese State took care of business both games like they should. But
never know.
Especially the past 5 years, they've had a tendency to get upset by a double-digit seed. Especially when you got the whole crowd against you. I mean, High Point brought a great crowd. McNeese not so much, but you had everybody else there.
Yeah, I saw High Point chartered planes, so their students that's pretty cool that they would be doing that. Yeah,
very cool. Braden Smith at 20 points against High Point, but I didn't think he played very well.
Didn't shoot well.
Definitely didn't play good against McNeese State at 8 turnovers. Trey Kaufman-Wren's been good past 2 games, and finally, we've been talking about it for a while. Other guys are stepping up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I mean, Fletcher Lawyer at 15 against McNeese didn't do anything against High Point, but guys like C.J. Cox starting to step up. Miles Colvin, Camden Heide, even Will Berg against High Point out of all people, 4 points.
Big Willie.
Nothing bad in his minutes for once. Yeah. No illegal screens or anything. Maybe one.
Got a 3 seconds against.
He did get 3 seconds. That was the only one I've seen called in a long time.
All year, I think. Yeah.
But now they got a whole other animal to face in Houston.
Yeah.
Awful mismatch, which Houston's a mismatch with about everybody.
They're good.
Play with the style they play. They're minimum boys. You were talking about old team earlier. They have a bunch of dudes that are 22, 23, 24, and they look like they're 30. Roberts looks like he's 40 out there. I don't know how Purdue's going to stop him. That's one of my main concerns. Yeah. I mean, they can beat you with guard play and big guys play. I'm hoping, Houston has beat 6 different teams by 30 points or more, but a lot of their other games have been tight games, but they win a majority of them, of course. So it's interesting. Like the other night against Gonzaga, they kept getting up 11, 12, 13, 14. Then Gonzaga would come back, get down 6, and it was just one of those games. And then Gonzaga had a chance at the end, but couldn't do it. But at least Purdue made Sweet 16. I feel like the season's a success now. Of course, it's always nice to have some kind of trophy to show for it, which they won't unless they win it all somehow. But
getting to a Final Four is pretty dang good.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll get a banner at least, or a year on the banner.
Yep, and they get to play in Indianapolis, so couldn't ask for much more. If you got to go against a 1 seed, if I'm Houston, I'm mad. Because Purdue's got to have tons of crowd. Kentucky's got to have tons of crowd. Tennessee's got to have tons of crowd. They probably won't. Yeah. I don't like that's at Lucas Oil. I actually hate it. I wish it was at Gamebridge.
Yeah. I
game.
think the crowd will be less of a factor because it's at Lucas Oil as
Yep.
opposed to it being at Gainbridge.
Well, and Gamebridge is having the IHSAA state finals on Saturday.
Right.
But the Lucas Oil thing's been booked for years. I mean, they
Mm.
could have made an adjustment. Honestly, it's more money they can get because I've seen ticket prices. They can put more in there than they can at Gamebridge. And Lucas Oil's holding the Final Four next year. So I bet that's got something to do with it. But what's frustrating is this is the only regional that's in a stadium. The rest are in basketball arenas.
Yeah. I understand why they put the Final Four in, big
100%.
football stadiums,
100%.
even though I think the viewing experience when you're there is terrible.
Awful.
And I think it's hard for players to play in those because the shooting background is so bad as
Yep.
well. Basketball should be played in
Yep.
basketball arenas.
Yep.
The last time Purdue played an NCAA tournament game at Lucas Oil, they lost to North Texas too.
Thanks for that reminder.
You're welcome. I was hoping you'd be over it by now because it was 4 years ago.
I honestly, Josh, out of all the
Yeah.
Ernie losses, I don't even think about that one. That year was so weird for me.
It
I
was
know
a
your
weird
team-
year.
Your team was awesome that year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Saw how that ended. So,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't like it. I especially don't like Sweet 16s and Elite 8s there. I think they played Sweet 16 and Elite 8 there.
In 09, Kevin Ware snapped his leg.
Is that where he snapped his leg? Okay.
Yep.
I think they also did it in 2014 because I vaguely remember Kentucky. Kentucky go to the Final Four in 14? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they played the Sweet 16 Elite 8 there then.
I thought I read today that the last two regionals Indianapolis had was in a football stadium was 09 and in the 80s at the Hoosier.
Okay. I must be wrong then.
Yeah.
But
that became a thing for a little while. Like I remember in 2010, in 09, Purdue played UConn out in Glendale, where the Cardinals play, which was foreshadowing, I guess, because they played there last year. But in 09, the Sweet 16, in 2010, they played Duke in Reliance Stadium in the Sweet 16. So that was a fad for a little while. And then they got away from it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking because, and I think they realize it's better to be played at arenas.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that the Final Four is in San Antonio, right?
Correct.
That's a much smaller stadium than a football stadium.
Correct.
There. So I think that place only holds, what, 40,000 maybe?
Are we talking Alamo Dome?
Yeah. I could be wrong.
Google it here.
But, I don't, honestly.
64,000.
Okay, I'm way wrong then. That's about what Lucas Oil holds anyway, right?
Yeah, I think a little more than 64, but yeah.
In the ballpark at least.
Yeah.
But
no, I get it. I'm all for it. The Final Four and championships being held there, that's fine. But the rest of the rounds, get them into a basketball arena. Like last year when Purdue was in Detroit, Little Caesars was perfect. 20,000 venue, NBA venue, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't even know where the other ones are at. I know one of them's in New Jersey. One of the regions.
Oh,
I don't know where the other ones
are. Is it in New Jersey or is it in Brooklyn?
They said in New Jersey. Newark.
Where the heck would they play? What's in Newark?
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Little Caesars, good.
Prudential Center.
Oh, okay.
Where the Devils play, I want to say. Maybe.
No idea.
Maybe not. Let's see here. Where'd it go? I had it up here. You son of a monkey. Oh, here we are. So we got the regionals, Prudential Center, Raleigh, San Francisco Chase Center. That's where the Warriors play, and Atlanta, Georgia State Farm Center, and Lucas Oil Stadium, Center Arena Stadium.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Nope, me neither. Final Four. Just looking at this, next year it's in Indy. 2027 is in Detroit. That's the Ford Field. That's the first one they've had since 09.
That was the Michigan State one. North Carolina.
Yes, it was. Vegas in 2028. Back to Indianapolis again in 2029, and then Dallas in 2030.
I wonder if Dallas has had one, because that would be massive.
And I remember Houston having them, but I don't remember Dallas.
I don't either.
So, we want to go through the games.
Let's do it.
Make the predictions. All right, let me bring them up here. I don't know what order they're in. Thursday night, we got 6 seed BYU against 2 seeded Alabama.
First 1 to 100 wins this one. Both teams can shoot. Both teams can score. That's a tough one. Give me BYU in the upset.
I'm taking BYU as well. I put it down in my bracket. I don't like the way Alabama looked the first 2 games, even though they won them, and that's all that matters.
No, I don't either. So, maybe that'll be kind of their wake up call though. Yeah. And so
they are 5.5 point favorites, and BYU travels well too. I mean, their fans
they
are pretty raucous. That was a great game against Wisconsin.
Where's that at? Is that in San Francisco, or is that in Atlanta? I think it's in Atlanta. Same region as Duke.
It is in New Jersey.
Oh, it's in New Jersey. Okay.
Yep. Yep. 4 seed Maryland against 1 seed of Florida, and this game is at the Chase Center.
Give me Florida. I think they had kind of their wake up call against UConn. I think they take care of Maryland fairly handily. Much better guard play. Walter Clayton Jr. is a stud.
I'm taking the Gators as well, even though I've seen what happens on videos when alligators try to eat tortoises or turtles. Sometimes it ends badly for the turtle, but more times than not, they can't chomp down on the shells.
Yeah,
they seem to be okay. Wow. Well, no. 4 seed Arizona against number 1 seed Duke. This is at the Prudential Center.
Yeah, Caleb Love against Duke for the last time ever. Arizona had to come back from 15 down last night against Oregon.
They didn't panic.
They're a pretty old team as well. Duke's the best team in college basketball, and I will be surprised if they're not playing. Very, very surprised, I should say, if they're not playing in that national championship game at least. Give me Duke by double digits. Proctor is shooting the heck out of the ball. You got Flag there. Mason Gillis was hitting threes yesterday. They're really freaking good.
Yeah, 8.5 point favorites, and I think they covered that pretty easily.
I do too.
10 seed Arkansas against 3 seeded Texas Tech, who's a 5.5 point favorite.
I'm taking Arkansas. I think they're hot. They're rolling right now. So we'll see if they can carry it over. St. John's just can't shoot.
No, they can't.
Patino benched his best player and Big East Player of the Year. I think it's R.J. Lewis Jr. because he was shooting 3 for 17. And he didn't play him the last 4 minutes, which I think is ballsy. Your best player, who's very capable scorer, he wasn't playing well, but I still think you need your best player in there in the final 4 minutes, especially of a game that was so close. But give me Arkansas.
I want to take Arkansas, but I don't want to agree with you across the board tonight, so I'll take Texas Tech just for that reason. Well, and then let's finish up these games. So that would mean BYU would be against Duke.
I don't think we did the Midwest region, did we?
We haven't, but I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I thought we'd do these real quick, and then we'll go to the rest.
Duke.
I got Duke making the Final Four. And Florida against Arkansas for you, SEC. Florida against Texas Tech for me.
Give me Florida.
Yeah, Florida as well. The other matchups, the Friday night matchups, starting with 6-seeded Ole Miss, 2.5 point underdogs against 2-seeded Michigan State.
Man, Ole Miss can score, but Michigan State can really defend. That's a tough one. Sean Padula has been awesome here this week for Ole Miss. Give me Michigan State, though.
I'll take Ole Miss. Maybe this is more me hoping.
I'm right there with you. I'm hoping.
But yeah, Chris Beard's name's not being thrown around for any jobs anymore. I think they're pretty settled in.
Good basketball coach.
Scummy human being with good basketball.
Yeah, good basketball.
There's a lot of good basketball coaches that are scummy human beings.
Majority of them, I'd say.
Yep. So I will take Ole Miss there. Kentucky, 3-seed Kentucky against number 2-seeded Tennessee. Like I said earlier, they played twice, once in Knoxville, once in Lexington. Kentucky won both matchups. Hard to beat a team 3 times. Vegas agrees because they have Tennessee at 4.5 point favorite.
Yeah. Both teams very experienced. I watched Kentucky yesterday. That was the first time Illinois played Kentucky since 1984.
I was going to
Um,
ask you that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking don't remember them ever playing Kentucky, but yeah, I was in the tourney in 1984, and it actually started a rule where a team cannot host a tourney event that they're playing in. So it was in Rupp Arena. Um, anyway, Kentucky looked good yesterday. I didn't think they looked that good against Troy. A little
They
aside,
can shoot it.
they can. A little aside for Illinois, the two games in the tourney were a perfect encapsulation of Illinois' season. You knew exactly what team you were going to get within the first like 5 minutes of the game, and Illinois turned
Saw
off
your
the
tweet.
sponge yesterday.
Saw your tweet.
Um, so yeah, um, because I had it in my bracket, I'm taking Tennessee. Tough to beat a team 3 times. Although Kentucky can get hot. Kobe Brea, shoot the lights out. He was awesome yesterday. Owe as well. He's good. Have a great passing big man. They're a good team.
I'm taking the Vols as well, even though they are easily my most disliked team outside the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Just don't like them. Don't like their fans. I'm not even a big Rick Barnes guy. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful one of these two fan bases gets the heck out of there before Purdue and Houston tips off.
Yeah.
So then the 9:39 tip game. Well, supposed to tip at 9:39. Number 5, Michigan gets number 1, Auburn. Auburn's an 8.5-point favorite.
Give me Auburn. I think they cover.
I think Auburn wins as well. And another 8.5-point game, Purdue versus Houston. Supposed to be tipped at 10:09. I bet it's 10:30.
At least it's Friday.
Yeah, but man, I'm old. I like to go to
Yeah,
bed.
I don't blame you. Central Time saves me.
Yeah.
But even then, you say that game goes. It's not going to go just 2 hours like regular season game
Right.
would. So it might be 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern, midnight Central. I'll try to stay up for it. But with that being said, I'm taking Houston. I think they're better. They're older. It's their time to maybe finally get to. I think did they get to the Final Four in 2021? They got to the Elite Eight at least.
Yeah, 2021 they got the Final
Okay, they
Four.
got there.
Yeah.
This is Samson's. He's had a pretty good.
He has good teams
chance.
every year.
Yeah, I know. But I think they will get it done.
Yeah.
Purdue has to play maybe their best game of the year to do it.
I would say Purdue's got a 2-10 or 3-10 chance to win this game.
That sounds
They got to
right.
shoot lights. If they can open up the game shooting like they did against McNeese, they can hang in there at least for a while.
Right.
Now, honestly, I think they will. I don't think this is a game that's going to be decided by halftime. Maybe 10 minutes left in the game, it starts getting stretched out. I think Houston does win, but I do look for Braden Smith to play really well because he hasn't yet. Dad Moody says, I see your Central Time. I raise you Mountain Time for the late tips.
Yeah, Mountain Time would be ideal for the late tips.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I have Ole Miss against Auburn. You have Michigan State against Auburn.
Give me Auburn. I think my Final Four is still intact. I think I had Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, and Duke.
We had the same one.
There we go.
We had the same Final Four, so yes, our Final Four and championship games are intact. I have Auburn as well, and Houston and Tennessee.
I gotta take Tennessee because
I do too.
Yeah, I hate it.
Actually, I think Houston will beat them, but
this will be the J-Man's bucket prediction of the week. Tennessee makes their first Final Four ever.
Ugh.
Ever. So J-Man's bucket prediction of the week brought to you by Travis Watering Insurance Agency for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers, comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watering@infb.com.
Yeah, they're easily the best program that's never made a Final Four. Who else is in that conversation?
That's never made a Final Four?
Missouri? Xavier?
Have they never made it?
No.
I would say Xavier over Missouri, but that's just my bias.
I would have definitely agreed with you like a decade ago, but Xavier's kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the tournament, and you guys beat them. They made the tournament, but I don't know. Missouri's been
they have fallen off. Any Big Ten teams that's never made it that, like, man, that's a surprise they've never made it. I don't think so.
I mean, even Minnesota's made the Final Four. Iowa's made the Final Four. I mean, I'm not putting Northwestern there.
Nor Nebraska. I mean, Northwestern just made the tourney for the first time 7 years ago.
Washington ever made it?
They stink, though.
Penn State stinks.
Oregon's made it. Has USC made it? I know UCLA, obviously, but
I don't know if USC is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mitch Mel says, "Let's say Purdue wins. Who will be your pick? Purdue against Tennessee." I got to go Purdue with that.
Right.
But I got to be honest. If Purdue wins, I hope Kentucky wins.
Yeah. Tennessee's due
They
against
are
Purdue.
due, and I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
Tired of playing them, man.
Yeah.
Tired of playing Marquette too, but playing them again next year.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and at least that's not usually in the postseason. Like Tennessee is.
Yeah.
They're always matched up in the same region. Doesn't matter. They find each other.
Yes,
And
they
what
do.
a nice fan base to deal with on social media.
Uh-huh.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you.
they're peachy.
Let me tell you. But overall recap for you of Illinois season, what would you grade it on the letters scale?
If you would have told me before the season they win 12 league games, they're a 6th seed in the NCAA tourney, and they win at least one game in the NCAA tourney, I would feel pretty good.
Yeah, you picked them
Um,
second in the Big Ten.
yeah, I think you have them third or in the top
I did.
three.
No, I did, and
Um,
then we both had Purdue winning, and yeah, here I am last week, which I was the same way. A 6 seed or
yeah,
better, Sweet 16. I'm happy, and I guess I got to be happy.
um, yeah. It was as much of a roller coaster season as I can remember for Illinois basketball. You had very high highs, like at Oregon, winning by 32 and scoring 109. Then you had some pretty low lows, losing to Rutgers and Nebraska on the road, and then getting whooped by the lowest was getting beat by Duke. I know Duke's good, but you lose by 43. That's pretty embarrassing. I would give it like a B minus. You
Okay.
have two guys that are likely top 20 NBA draft picks, and it just never gelled. It did, but it didn't. It was really weird.
Did for like a short stint, but they got sick too.
They
Like
got
the roster,
sick,
yeah,
but they're not sick now, and it was
right.
still the same crap. Where
Turnovers
you
and
look awesome against Iowa, you get blown out by Maryland. You look
yeah,
great against Xavier, you get down, 13 in the first half, claw back and get it to 3, and then the opening possession of the second half down 5, you turn it over. Next thing you
yeah.
know, it's an 8-0 run, and the game's pretty much over. They have to get older. They have to get more athletic. They didn't have many athletes on this team. Um, they have to keep the roster intact is the thing going forward. Boswell should be back, which he played really good down the
Yes, he
stretch.
did.
He's from Champaign. Trey White says he's coming back. That means nothing when people say they're coming back. But need him back. You have to get Merez Johnson back. He might lead Big Ten in rebounds next year if he plays, starters minutes. Visick should get him back, but you never
He
know.
had a good game yesterday.
He had a good turn. He set a record for most threes by a player 7 foot or taller in an NCAA tournament game. He had 4 of them on
Interesting.
Friday night.
I would have
Um,
guessed Pittsnoggle did it for West Virginia, but he might have been like 6'10".
I think he was 6'10" or 6'11".
Okay.
I don't think he was 7 foot.
Okay.
They'll hit the portal hard. I saw today that they are going to go hard after Josh Dix, who left
Yes.
Iowa.
Yes.
And it sounds like, as of now, it's probably Illinois, Kentucky, Creighton, and Kansas battle for him. So they'll hit the portal. They'll go European route, but got to get more athletic, got to get older. And so I'd give it like a B minus.
Okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, I know we have our blind rankings to do real quick
Yes.
before Birdie or Bogey, but also since we recorded last week, Indiana, Iowa, Minnesota, all brand new coaches.
Darian DeVries from West Virginia, Indiana, Ben McCollum from Drake to Iowa, and Nico Medved from Colorado State to Minnesota. I think all very good hires.
They seem good on paper.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So, blind ranking segment. I have a couple Final Four most outstanding players here, and I want you to rank them based on whatever ranking you want to rank them. Starting with, who should I start with? Kemba Walker.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That run he had in the 2011, it would have been tournament.
Yeah.
Started with the crossover in the Garden against Pittsburgh in the Big East tournament, and just kept going from there. And got Kevin Ollie out of all people. Was Kevin Ollie the coach?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. No, I think it was
Calhoun.
Then
Yeah.
Ollie won it.
Ollie was Shabazz. Yeah.
I'm going number 2.
All right. That's fair. Another UConn guy here, Emeka Okafor.
Yeah, I mean, I remember his run, and they beat Georgia Tech. Jared Jack and the boys are there. Weird championship game. He was a cover of NCAA basketball game, and then he was number 2 picked by the Charlotte Bobcats. Dwight Howard's number 1. I'm going to put him at number 4.
All right. Kyle Guy.
That hurts.
I know.
No, honestly, as bad as Purdue fans are, Auburn fans can be just mad, and Texas Tech
Oh,
fans too.
I would say even madder.
Team of destiny, but just because it's personal, I'm putting at 5.
Fair enough.
He's from Indiana too, and he went
Yeah.
to Virginia.
Yeah. Let's see here. I got 3 guys for 2 spots. Let's see.
I got a 3 and a 1 left. Crud.
Joakim Noah.
Oh, man, I do not like this guy in the pros, but he was the heartbeat for those Florida teams. We
Yeah.
also had Al Horford, Corey Brewer. I think the other guy's name was Lee Humphreys. I know his last name was Humphreys. They went back to back UCLA and Ohio State. I don't know who you have left, so I don't like it, but I'm putting him at 3.
Okay, you have your number 1 slot left,
Yep.
and I'm going to go with Kyle Singler.
I wouldn't put him at number 1.
The other guy on the list was Shane Battier. Would you be okay with him at number 1?
Nope. I would have put Kimba at number 1.
Yeah, I would have too, I think.
Singler was a heck of a player at Duke. Battier was also a heck of a player at Duke. Very unlikable, which this Duke team is not as unlikable as some others. It might be the Shire effect instead of Coach K. I don't know.
Yeah, Coach K is insanely unlikable. His arrogance and pompous attitude.
Yeah.
If some team beat him in the tourney, there'd always be stories. Oh, Coach K came in there and told them how great they did. I hate that. It's pompous. It's like I just cannot. I couldn't stand the guy. I like Shire a lot more. There's not really a hateable player. I know people probably hate Cooper Flagg. He'll be the number 1 overall pick. If number 1 overall pick, I'll kiss a pig. I shouldn't have said that out loud because I don't kiss a pig. But I assume it's going to be Cooper Flagg. But yeah, I don't hate this team, and I think they're the best team in college basketball. And yeah, back in the day, those guys were hateable.
Oh yeah, John Shire, man, the one that got away from Illinois, Bruce Weber.
Yeah, Bruce Weber's bro was his high school coach, and it was when Illinois was coming off really good success too. But still, I understand the allure of Duke.
Well, he was a legendary high school player around Chicago.
He was. Yeah, he was.
I remember. You remember when ESPN the magazine was a thing, and they kind of rivaled Sports Illustrated.
Yeah,
that's when I first learned about him. When he was in high school, I remember he was either a cover photo or a main article. He was pouring a thing of syrup on like a basketball cut in half on a plate.
I don't remember that one.
I don't know why it just stuck in my head. So,
yeah,
good player now, good coach. So
we will have our baseball preview next week. I kind of ran out of time to do any sort of research for this.
Episode. We will have next week. I mean, the season starts Thursday. Plenty of games left for us. Yeah. We will be all right. So, and a good blind ranking segment though, which is brought to you by Like It Is Every Week. Performer Print 2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or a sales meeting, Performer Print 2 Promo Group has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs, so you need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815. Birdie or bogey question, J-Man, amongst the active head coaches in Division I college basketball, who has the most NCAA tourney wins?
3 immediately pop into my head. I assume it's one of these 3 guys because all 3 guys have been around for a long time. I'm going Rick Pitino.
You got a bogey, my friend.
The other 2 were Izzo and Calipari.
It's one of those 2, and the other one's second.
It's got to be Cal, right?
Calipari it is. He's got 2 more than Izzo. I think it's 50 after this weekend. I think it's 59 to 57.
Oh, that stinks. I assume Pitino's third. Then that's my guess.
I think he is.
Crap.
Yeah. Well, it's either him or Self. I don't remember. Self might be third.
Self wasn't even in my head.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. He's won 2 titles. He's been to the Final Four.
He's third, actually, and Pitino's fourth because Pitino had that time off at Celtics, and then with Louisville, he didn't always make it. So
he's been there since the 80s, though. That's what
I know. Yeah.
Good question. I stink. Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show. We will recap the second weekend of the NCAA tourney, as well as do our baseball preview. Have